What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this one, it's something that I've been putting together for a long time. A lot of work actually went into this video. It took about 2 weeks. And what I want to do for everybody, now that Shadowlands has had some more release updates, with the October 26th announcement, it's become real. We have a finite point in time where this goal of getting the Longboy mount or stockpiling your gold for the Shadowland experience is becoming a thing. So in this video, what we're going to go over is all the things that you're going to do throughout the week to make gold through your normal routine, right? Because a lot of us still play the game, we want to get gear, or we're leveling up alts. We don't necessarily want to sit down and grind and farm and really do probably the best option to get that gold, which is to sit down and grind certain farm spots and be versatile in the farm spots you grind. So this video is very casual, but it's going to show you how not only gearing, but playing the game and doing your dailies and doing your different check marks throughout the week is going to allow you to make this gold without necessarily going out of your way to specifically farm for 5 and 6, 7 hours a day. And more importantly, it's going to keep you on your regular routine but still pull in a lot of gold income. A couple things you will need to know. This video is going to be biased towards tailoring and enchanting because it is what I primarily run on my main character, but you can change out a few different things depending on what your professions are, or what class you may have throughout the video. If you have any questions, drop a comment below and I can tell you how to work other professions into the rotation. But without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and get into it. So the first thing you're going to do is going to be your N'Zoth assaults. Now the reason these are really great to do is while you're collecting your coalition visions in order to buy the vessels to do your horrific visions, each chest that you're doing has a chance. It's not guaranteed, but a chance to drop 2,000 gold. So in the clips you see here before you opening them, all 3 of the chests you can do in a week, the 2 on Tuesday and the 1 on Friday, I receive 2,000 gold each time just passively doing what I need to do throughout the week in order to gear my character and further myself through content. So very, very easy. In total takes about 45 minutes, easy 6,000 gold. Would always recommend doing these each week. Now the next thing you're going to want to work on is doing your Emissary World quests. And the reason I started with the Nazjachar one is the Nazjachar awards, or the Waveblade Anakoan awards you with 35 prismatic pearls. And what you can do with these prismatic pearls is turn them into the Benefit gear, and the Benefit gear can be disenchanted into your veiled crystals. So this is where your enchanting profession ties in, because while getting these and turning them into veiled crystals, you're able to make enchants at week reset. And the reason you do week reset is it's when people open their mythic chests or raids reset, and as they're acquiring gear, there's a increased demand to buy enchants for, for example, rings for the mastery, crit, versatility, or haste. So doing this not only is going to reward you with the reputation, but you're going to get these veiled crystals, and they're very, very easy to get, and turn them into a good profit for enchanting, being that on my server, each enchant sells for about 200 gold. This 200 gold times, let's say I'm able to make 20 enchants with the veiled crystals I'm able to get, is going to be a couple thousand gold, and I'm not doing anything different than my normal rotation. But ultimately, the reason you're doing the Emissary quests is because with the reputation, once you are at Exalted and you reach an additional 10,000, it opens up an unlock to give you an Emissary reward chest. Now, the nice thing about these reward chests is that they are a guaranteed 3,500 to 5,000 gold. So just doing your emissaries, which give you your Echoes of Nyalotha, war resources, and for example, this enchanting I'm doing right here, it's not any different from your normal rotation. And in the clip here, you'll see in a second, in these 2 weeks, I was able to acquire 4 emissary chests, and all I did was the 4 required quests each day for the emissaries, not farming any additional rep in the zones. I was very easily able to acquire these 4, and they opened up to about 17,000 gold. Let's take a look here. So as you can see here, I'm opening up my emissary reward chests. And I started with 0 copper, and as I open the 4 of them, I'm going to end up with 17,000 gold. So it's very, very easy, and it was nothing different from my normal rotation. In the clips you're going to see here in a second, I move over to the auction house, and I'm going to be putting up my enchants that I made. Each enchant, I believe I made 17 altogether, for a total profit of about 3,800 gold. Again, nothing different. Nothing outside of just normal farming. In this clip here, what I'm showing is the fact that in order to make these, you do have to craft the Tide Spray Linen Bracers in order to disenchant for the dust in order to make the bracers. Now, killing normal mobs throughout your emissary quest rotation, humanoids, obviously, dropping the cloth, allow you to get the dust, so you're still not doing anything outside your normal rotation, but having tailoring in order to get these guaranteed greens for the dust does save you a tremendous amount of time. And it increases your profit, because if you're lazy, you don't have to go and buy the Tide Spray or the cheap greens off the auction house in order to do this. So it's a very easy profit gain, and because you're putting it up on the auction house and it is a guaranteed sell, meaning there's never going to be a time where these enchants aren't going to sell relatively quickly within, a 24-hour period. You're getting very easy passive gold and can move on to doing the other things you need to do in your week. So in the clips coming up, the next thing I usually like to focus on is going to be the island expeditions for the 3,000 artifact power and the treasure map unlock you get for doing it. So island expeditions are important to do because you need to unlock the 3,000 artifact power in order to continue leveling up your neck. Where you can actually make gold doing these annoying 4 things each week is throughout the doubloon coins and occasional random drops. You can get some very good transmog items that do sell at a decent rate because they have a great visual look to them. And with the doubloon trader coins, you can, if you save them up, open crates that guarantee these weapon drops or these armor drops. Now, after you've completed all 4 of your island expeditions, you are awarded with a treasure map, and there is occasionally a chance to get a 5,000 gold reward treasure. And being that you have your followers leveled up to a decent amount with the proper augments, you can guarantee 100% that when the mission is done, you're going to get this 5,000 gold. And because your followers are doing the work to earn it, it is quite literally the definition of a passive gold income. So very, very easy to do, and again, nothing outside of your normal rotation, and you're leveling up your artifact power along with it. So in the clip you can see here, I'm putting the transmog items up on the auction house, both for a sizable amount of gold. And they will sell relatively quickly. You may have to list them once or twice because it does take that specific person who wants the look. But the axe in particular is a great model and goes well with a lot of transmog. So the next thing you're going to want to do is your old world and raid farms. Now what I mean by old raid is there is a lockout once you do these instances, so you're only going to do them once on each difficulty per week. In the video you see here, I've chosen Hellfire because as far as gold per hour goes, Hellfire is currently the absolute highest. It does not drop a tremendous amount of gold per boss, but the amount of items you get, Epic and Warforged, especially the weapons, sell for an incredibly sizable amount. So going through these instances, Hellfire as the example, you're going to want to do it on Mythic difficulty, and then if you go through, you're going to run out, and you're going to do it on normal difficulty. After this, if you go to your garrison, there is an LFR NPC that will allow you to teleport and do it on the Looking for Group difficulty. Doing all 3 of these instances can roughly, depending on your class, take about an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes if it's your first run through and you're inexperienced in how to rush through the RP events, such as the Hellfire Assault at the beginning. But doing these is going to net you about 10,000 gold for an hour's worth of your time each week, as well as get you some transmog items for your character in specific, if you're into that sort of thing. As I'm going through here, I'm selling everything, and you can see we started at about 17,000 gold, and we finished with a little bit over 20. This was one run on the Mythic difficulty, and we didn't have a tremendous amount of weapons drop, but you can expect anywhere from about 3,000 to about 4,500 per run of the instance. Now, the next thing you're going to do, and it's usually the final thing for the week, I can't state how important that is, do the other things first, because the whole point of this video is to passively make money while doing your normal rotation. The reason I think this falls into the normal rotation is even as a casual player, once you run out of your weekly logins, whether it be Mythic Dungeons or the Enzoth Assaults, you're typically going to have some downtime that you can dedicate a little bit to farming. The video you see above you is a raw gold farm from a previous video I've done involving a Tidespray linen shuffle. Now, this strictly works for tailors, but obviously if you have something like leatherworking, you could go into Atoll Dazar and do the shuffle for the crafted knife. Now, you want to dedicate about an hour a day after you've completed everything else, whether in your weekly logins, and this hour a day can usually net you anywhere between 6,000 and 10,000 gold, depending on which farm you're doing. And you're going to want to dedicate that hour, because any more than an hour and you're doing what we talked about at the beginning of the video, and you are strictly farming gold, going above and beyond your normal rotation. Now, doing this, let's say you do this, 3 or 4 days out of your weekly cycle, because it takes you the first couple to do everything else, you're usually going to net between 20 and 30,000 gold, spending about an hour a day doing this. This is a really simple way to get your gold, and it's awesome because you can change up the farm you're doing each day for an hour for that versatility to keep you motivated. Obviously, this is still going to be considered classic farming, and it may not be something you do every single day, but once you run out of all your other passive gold making, this is a great way to still bring in a profit each day without necessarily dedicating 4 and 5 hours like we talked about to strictly farming. And it's going to allow you to log in and not burn yourself out and still enjoy playing the game. So we're going to kind of talk about the totals now. Seeing all these clips and everything that comes with them is really hard without seeing, the total fruition of it. So the most important aspect that we've been going across the whole time is how you're making this gold without dedicating, insane amounts of time. Because obviously we all have daily lives and we work and everything else, and we necessarily can't make a career out of this gold making, right? It's supposed to be a hobby. So in fruition, this is my bank alt, and this is after 1 week of doing everything you saw in the clips below, and it was able to net me 152,000 gold, and that is just for 1 week of doing everything. Now, if you couple the other 2 weeks together, it added up to be about 280,000 gold, 63,000 of which I was logging in less than 15 minutes a day, and this was utilizing obviously the emissaries, getting lucky on some of my island drops for transmog sales, and the gold I was making doing the world quests and doing the caches in the Enzoth Assaults. That passive gold, that's about 15 minutes a day for that 63,000. So this is an incredibly efficient way to make gold without going out of your way. Now, you would have to start incredibly far in advance in order to passively make enough gold for the Longboy mount. At this point in time, the big caveat to this video, guys, if you want to get your Longboy mount, you're going to have to go out and grind 5 and 6 hours a day, doing the different gold shuffles, doing the different farms in order to get this amount of gold before the release. Is it worth it? That may be up to you. But for players who aren't going to dedicate that time, maybe you're very close to the goal, but you don't find that availability to go out and farm 4 and 5 hours a day, doing these tips and tricks is going to allow you to passively make a large sum of gold each week and get you closer to that goal of getting the Longboy without necessarily dedicating all the time. I think the most important thing to take away from this video is you're going to get what you put into the effort. So the more time you spend, the more money you're going to make, but everything I've shown you can be very efficient for that amount of time you're putting in, meaning even if you're only logging in 15 minutes a day, you're going to net yourself a good gold return. You also are going to want to have professions. I can't stress how important it is that in order to be a good passive gold maker, you have to have professions. You have to be able to acquire things through your normal routine, save them up, and strategically utilize your crafting in order to make gold, such as with the prismatic crystals or the tide spray shuffles. But, you know, if you've enjoyed the video, please drop a like, please comment down below, you know, anything you may have think I've missed. I think the community as a whole may have some clever ways to work in other ideas into your weekly rotation, and I would love to hear them down below. Thanks for watching. Peace.